Hi, my name is Larry D. Reid, and we are about to have a Commodore Lutely. The conversation that we're going to be having today is part two. I know some of you may not remember part one of The Heavens Are Telling the Future because it happened July the 10th, 2025. And on this platform, we were preparing for our Reformation conference. So it probably got swallowed in all the content that we began to put out concerning Reformation. So I have decided to do part two. There are two running series on this platform right now. And one is The Exodus. Is it time to leave America? You need to watch all, 4 parts of that already, I think it's been. And I assume we'll be doing part number 5. And this series, part 2, The Heavens Are Telling the Future. Put that in the chat. Tell everybody you know that there are 2 series going on the Larry Live platform. In the midst of him talking about what's happening in our world and what is on the internet and what's happening in the public space, that he's running these 2 series on the main platform to help educate you about where we are in our world spiritually, in the religion of Christianity, alongside of other religions, and then also where we're at financially, economically, what is happening, what is about to happen, and what's the best position, posture, and placement to be in that can be most prosperous for our future. So the heavens are telling the future, and Exodus, is it time to leave America? Well, let me go ahead and answer that question since I just said it. Yes, everybody must leave America. I repeat, everybody must leave America. This is psychologically, metaphysically, mentally, emotionally, even as it relates to your diet, your appetite, your palate. All must leave America. If you do not do this, you are going to be subject to the powers that will be moving across this planet, especially in America, over the next 10 years. So you need to make an exodus right now. Make that decision and plan and prepare and prune and reposition, introspect, cut and edit. You need to leave America. The culture, the consciousness, the character, leave it in order for you then to look at your life and begin to prepare your life for the future on any country or in any country or on any continent. It's extremely important that you have been delivered from the scam called America. All right, let's get back into The Heavens Are Telling the Future. We're about to get started. This is the intro. I'm going too long. Let's go.
Multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, recording artist, spiritual leader, author, and actor. Larry D. Reid is the founder of the MBN Network, owner of LDR Enterprises based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the spiritual leader of the Reformation Church of Atlanta. You can catch Larry Reid on the BET Plus original series Kingdom Business and on American Gangsta Track Queens. Streaming online at BET.plus. Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and build your immune system, health and wellness lifestyle plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be part of daily prayers, weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us at patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you. Church Critic by Dr. Larry D. Reid. An examination of the Larry Reid Live show perspective. Purchase a copy today by logging on to LarryReidLive.com. That's LarryReidLive.com.
My name is Shantae Standback, and I am a patron of Dr. Reid's platform, LRL, on Patreon, as well as a member of Reformation Church of Atlanta. I started as a viewer. On Facebook Live. I was introduced to Dr. Reid as he was covering church in the pandemic. A friend of mine shared the video with me and was like, you have to watch this, because this particular episode that he was providing his commentary on hit home for me, as it was the family church that I grew up in. So it was from that moment, and I remember it was October of 2020. And it hit home for me because at that time it was the height of COVID. And although I was no longer a member of this church, I still had family members that were still pretty much, very much a part of it, 4 generations. So it was very emotional for me. But in all that I received from his comedic commentary, who knew that that would be the lure that God would use to pull me in. And that's how my journey started. So I started as a viewer, ended up becoming a patron, and now I am a member, as I stated. I had no idea that I still had so much, as he coins the term, church brain, that still needed to be uprooted. So what Reformation has done for me, what the LRL platform, Patreon, has done for me has been transformational. I was so over church. And I know many have kind of shared and expressed the same thing in this community. But I was over church because I knew it just had to be something so much more to what life was. I saw it as oppressive, and what Dr. Reid has given to me and so many others in this community is experiencing the divine of who we are, the divine being of who God is, in a way that was so limiting from church. And so that is what Patreon, as well as being a part of Reformation Church of Atlanta, has done for me. But it was the lure of his Facebook Lives. And I'll be honest, there were times where I would cringe because my brain sometimes couldn't fathom some of the comedic ways in which he would present topics, but he presented topics that oftentimes the church wouldn't talk about. Things that were oppressive, astrology, sex, things that were often deemed as witchcraft or dark, but yet those are things that were taken from us, that suppressed us, that limit us. And so his teaching, the nuggets and his wisdom from his commentary has been so transformational for me, so life-changing. And so I offer anyone who finds themselves like at the crossroads of just like, it has to be more, like there has to be more than life. It is. This community has helped me to embrace the mystical side of who I am, begin to understand that of what I was called to do, the divine being that I am, to walk boldly in who I am because of who Dr. Reid is and how freeing he is and how bold he is. It allows and has created those same sacred spaces for so many others. So, and that's been my testimony and my journey. I have changed in so many ways for the good in all aspects of my life, from emotional, spiritual, and financial. Let me tell you, that whole financial wellness plan is a game changer. It has been life-changing. That is who I am. Dr. Reid, thank you for your complete and total yes, and for all that you continue to do.
Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube page, and hit the bell. Text LRL to 404-999-7527. That's the words LRL to 404-999-7527. And get notified when we go live. Become a member of Patreon. Log on to patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Sign up, then download the Patreon app and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
We're about to have a conversation. All right. Hello, everybody. I hope that you're having an amazing, or have had an amazing day. Some of you are watching me in the middle of the night in a whole entire different country than here in America. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now, and it is 5:02 p.m. where I am. So good day or good night to you that are watching me. If you are in the chat, I need for you to let me know the city and the state that you're watching me from. I also want to know if you are in another country, watching me from another country. Not if you were born in another country, but if you are in another country and you're watching me right now, I want you to tell me where you are watching me from. Also, take this link and share it out with your family members. It doesn't matter what kind of Christian they are, or maybe they're not a Christian at all, and they practice one of the other Abrahamic religions. That's fine. They probably could benefit from watching this. This is part 2. And on the Larry Live platform, if we're not discussing one of these terribly viral, messy, salacious topics, then thousands don't even come over. They wait until those moments when I decide to discuss and talk about that. So we really need your help to help us spread the learning aspect of this platform and not just the laughter aspect of this platform. So I want you to share this out. I also want to invite you. You didn't find me just by happen chance. You found me because you were meant to find me. And it wasn't to just make you laugh. It wasn't to just get you through the pandemic. It wasn't just to get you through the divorce. I have something that is calling to something that is in the inside of you. And I'm meant to teach that thing and to inspire that part of you. There's something in you that connects with me. And it's time now to go ahead and just find out what that is. Come to Patreon and meet me every single Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Every single Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And then Tuesday through Friday, we do creative prayers at 8 a.m. to create the day, the world that we want. This is the day that you have made, and hopefully you have been able to rejoice in it. Well, that's the reason why I want you to meet me every Tuesday through Friday so I can show you how to create the day that's meant to be made for you so that then you can rejoice and be glad in it. Every day, new benefits, new mercies that you're supposed to partner with, work with to have an amazing day every day. So let's take it a little bit farther than just watching me when I post something about what is happening in the black community, in the political community, in the church community with these preachers and pastors and churches. Let's take this relationship further, and let's not keep it on the surface and just getting each other off in the moment. But let's go to the bedroom. Now, when I said that, something just happened. Something just happened to you. But I want you to come into my inner chamber and give me the opportunity to give you what I got. Come on. Now, some of you may be actually coming right now, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I'm talking about something that is mental, metaphysical, and emotional. But I know when I say that, come on, it just something happened. Everything just. But that ain't what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to have a conversation. So go to Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Reid Live, and go ahead and sign up. And we're going to take it further versus us just playing out here like this. There's some things that we need to get into, all right? And there's some things I need to get into you. You hear what I'm saying? My big sister said, nope, I ain't feel all that. Of course you don't, because I'm just your baby brother, Larry. But some of these folk watch them like, oh, I wish you would. My God, I need a fan. Men don't go through menopause, do they? I'm going through something. Because every time I come in here, I feel like I'm inside of an oven. And it can't just be this big old screen. Now, see, y'all, this is not one of those things that you put into StreamYard to make it look nice behind you. No, this is really ours. This is the ministry really paid cash for this, for all of this. All of this. Can you make it wider where they can see more of what's behind me? Make it wider. I'm talking to my daughter, y'all. Look, come on, bigger. They're gonna see that I ain't got on the matching pants. Big, you see all of that? Now that's the wall a little bit, but just center it over there. Yeah. So show them the other end. Okay. Not that. Over this end. You see all of that? $80,000. All of that. Because you can have an LED wall like this and it not be $80,000. But you won't be able to see how we zooming in the camera and it don't turn into these little swirl things. Y'all ever watch these churches? I see it and I'm like, they went the cheap way. And they got the whole LED wall behind them. But see, if it's a big, huge one, you can go low quality. But if it's not a big, huge one and you want to have cameras on it without those swirl things, then you have to go up. Well, smaller rather. You can't be doing 4 point something, 3 points. So you got to go down to the 1 point something. See, this is a 1.7, I think it is, you see. So, so when that $8.88, but we ain't going to ask for that today because I saw 4s when I started logging in. So we're going to be doing $4.44. If you want to put something in front, a 1 or a 2 or 3 in front of it, you can to support us here. But what is it? Want you what? Oh, a fan would be good, but would that make me stopped up afterwards? Let's just hold up. If I can just take it, I just take it. If I can just take it, okay. Oh, Jesus. It's a little hot, but it's cold right out there. Can you open the door a little bit more? I think that's helping. I think I just felt that, or either my mind made it up. That helped. Oh, thank you, Jesus. That helped a little bit. So if I stay calm and don't get too hot, then I should, and don't get too turned up, I shouldn't get so hot. Okay, did y'all take a moment and tell me? Yeah, I see some of y'all telling me where you. Somebody said they say you spend. Larry does not spend money. $30 million. That's a great lie. I love that. So I'm gonna say yes to that, although it's not true. I'm gonna say yes to that. 30 million. I received that. 30. Hold on for a minute. It seemed like somebody prophesied something to me years ago about $30 million. That was also the number you said that you wanted. No, it was. What's her name? She said my number is 30 million. I remember. We ain't gonna say her name. That was who said that, and now her pastor is out there lying and said I got 30 million. You think that's coincidence? Nope, same spirit. But I'm going to receive that. I'm going to receive that 30 million. Larry Reid from what? 2019 to 2024 generated $30 million. I received that. It's not the truth. It's not a fact. But I'm going to receive it as though it is the truth. Let me tell you something that I learned. In 2019, there was this man that was online saying that I was making $1 million every 2 months. Y'all, when I tell you that wasn't close to the truth. But do you know within a year, I was doing $1 million around about every 2 months. So I received this prophecy. 30 million. 30 million. I need for everybody to put it in the chat. 30 million. 30 million. We're receiving that, the MBN network, as a prophecy. And I'm going to say 30 million by the close of 2026. Let's focus our energy on that, of doing 30 million by the close of 2026. Now, you know, if we believe that and we all can get in that same frequency in our faith in this moment, watch it happen. We receive it as a prophecy. We receive it as a prophecy. Larry, AI can get that backdrop for cheap. You think AI can walk in here and create this backdrop? You mean the picture that we're casting on the LED screen? Yes, AI can do that. But AI is not a LED screen. Let me tell y'all something about AI, and you definitely need to be learning it and working with it and researching. But don't let AI make you stupid. AI is in this beta stage. So everything you put in Chat GPT, Gemini, and Grok, and all these different tools, it's learning from you. We are educating AI that's going to become so humanistic and very human. What is the proper word? Generative. There you go. Generative. We are programming it right now. All right? 30 million, I see it. 30 million. Not people, but dollars. 30 million. By the close of 2026. Have y'all said it out of your mouth? 30 million. By the close of 2026. I know that's right. 30 million by the close of 2026. Okay, have y'all all hit like? I'm about to get started. Hit like and share this everywhere. I'm about to get started in the conversation. And we have a video that we need to watch too. If you are watching and you did not watch part 1, put in the chat a number 1. Or if you watched and you don't remember it, put a number 1 in the chat. I'm going to play a clip from that first live, and then we're going to have a conversation. Oh, Jesus, there's quite a few ones. Y'all don't remember it. Okay. That's all right. I don't feel a certain kind of way because that was July the 10th. There was a lot going on. And a lot has happened since then, and you're going to be able to hear it differently. Oh, Jesus, there's a whole lot of ones. Oh, my God. Okay. All right. Okay. I got that. Okay, so I'm going to play this clip. Now, how y'all want me to play the clip? Do you want me to play the clip, play all of the clips? It's a pretty long clip. Or do you want me to play and talk through the whole clip? Tell me how y'all want me to do it. And that's the way I'm going to do it. You said bring it back to our remembrance. Okay, Alicia says she remembers it. That's a true statement, Naomi, and I know that. Y'all said play and talk. Okay, that helped break it up. All right. play and talk. Looks like that's the main thing. Okay, I got it. All right, so I know how y'all want me to do the show. Okay, so let me get right into it. You ready, Kendall? All right. There are 4 planets that you need to be paying attention to. Not because the Spirit of God can't speak to you. Not because your personal prophet can't tell you the future. But because you, as a spiritual person, a follower of Jesus Christ, you, as a Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, Holy intelligence-filled person who God sits in and rests in you, it's important for you to understand data, science, information, especially the sciences around the prophetic that are prophetic in nature. And astrology is prophetic in nature because it goes into a thing and tells a story using symbols, numbers, postures, tilts, degrees, stars, planets, Chiron, midheaven. It uses all these measures to message. And the Bible says that these bodies in the sky, they speak, and that God has named them each. And they speak for signs, times, and seasons. So as a spiritual person, as a mystic, as a baptized in Jesus' name, Holy Ghost-filled, tongue-talking person, you need to have basic understanding of the heavens that God flung into the sky. Millions, trillions even, of planets and stars. It's important to understand how they affect us on this planet, Earth. I don't know if you know this or not, but you are a speck of God and a speck of all of the stars and planets. You are that. You're the same material. And so understanding these sciences and these skies and these galaxies and these planets and stars is really understanding some aspect of yourself. And right now, over the next 20 years, 4 of the most important planets, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus. You need to pay attention to them and look at them as signs and at times as guides. But none of these things, no number, no angel number, no sign, no planet, no star, none of these things are the super divine intelligence called God. So through meditation and relationship with God that made and created all of this, we're able to know things even when we don't know the star, the position, the planet, the sign, and the time. But nobody should say, you just need the Holy Ghost, and you just need God speaking to you, and you just need to see in the Spirit. You just need to feel your way through this. God gonna show you. He's almighty. He'll let you know. That's right. He will let you know. Knowledge, omniscient, all science. It is your job to then add to your Holy Ghost the wisdoms of God. And that's through study. That's through sitting under teaching. That's from book collection. That's from data collection and research. When you marry that to your gifts, when you marry that to your shando that tell you what to do and what to say, you become a sharper tool, and a tool that can penetrate in a way that those that do not know cannot. The more knowledge, science, knowing you get, the more God you get. So you cannot just lay on your face and pray and fast. You've got to get in a book and read and go to school and take courses and listen to teachers, rabbis, future texts, shift specialists, so that you can know the times and seasons. Make a request in your personal devotion time for the anointing of the sons of Issachar to rest upon you, that you can know the time and season. Now, that don't mean you're just going to call on that spirit and not put your nose in the book. I'm telling you to do first things first. Pray and make a request and acknowledge that these wisdoms are in you, unlocked and untapped, and then begin to sit with the teacher, listen to a futurist, and data collect and research on your own. So I'm going to play right now a clip. I think it's around 12 minutes. But I'm going to stop it at key points. And I'm going to do something different today. This is part 2 of The Heavens Are Telling the Future. I'm going to allow you, Kendall's in here, my baby daughter, which is my oldest daughter, Xari is in here. So he's going to start a question if you have one. And I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can sitting here in this chair's raggedy. I mean, it's a nice chair, but it don't have the support that my back need. And I'm not going to sit here and end up I can't hardly get up out this chair. So as long as I possibly can. And what I may do is break up the Q&A and go over to members only. You know, that makes good sense. I may go over to members only and do the Q&A there. I think that'll be good. Okay. All right, so I'm looking in the chat. Are y'all ready now? Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to play the clip and I'm going to stop and talk. Oh, Lord. I hope this ain't about to make this show real long. Okay. 2026 is going to be a very, very painful, difficult year for the world, but not for you. In 2024, the planet Pluto began to go in and out of the sign of Aquarius. I want you to know that we are in the age of Aquarius. And whenever Pluto goes in Aquarius, revolutions and wars and upgrades and advances, they all happen. It tends to be the best of time and the worst of times. All right, so I want you to first sit with this that I said. This is prophecy. 2026 is going to be a very difficult year. And November and December is going to sort of prophesy the volatility that we're going to be experiencing. Now, if you're in my closed community, I told you guys this November the 1st. Right now, today, the stock market, yesterday and today, has been very volatile. Spirit told us that November and December is going to be like the precursor and the prophet and the prophetic model that is forecasting how the entire calendar year of 2026 is going to be. With that being said, we entered into November in a government shutdown. Now, I'm going to tell you what the heavens are saying about the government shutdown and when it is going to be over. So get all of your friends together so they can hear this conversation. Another thing I said in that clip is it's going to be bad, but for you it's not. Why? Because of knowledge. I'm telling you about it before it happens. I'm letting you know what is to come. Now, if you listen to it, then you're going to be on the up and up. If you listened to me earlier this year, you knew to go ahead and get your passport, your name spelling, especially women, I said, your birth certificate, your marriage license, your passport, your utility bill, and your license. Make sure all these spellings and these names and everything is correct. Some listened, some did not. Now we know that they're actually saying there's a great possibility you can't even vote without having a passport in 2028. And this is something that is likely going to pass. When you know what to do. When you know how to walk it through. So for you, it's not going to be that bad. You can in 2026, but what is going to be happening with the market and the housing market and banking, you can end up being in the best financial position you have ever been before, or being in a better financial position than those around you who don't know. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So the volatility that we're going to be experiencing in 2026 is happening right now. We entered into this month with a government shutdown. Now, this is the beginning of the change of all systems in America. So this government shutdown, some say it's on purpose, some say it's calculated. I get that. But let's look more expansively as relates to the whole thing. Because Pluto, its goal is to make everything better, to upgrade and to innovate, to take it up technologically, to take it up in opulence. That is what is happening. We are being taken up. It don't feel like it, but we are being taken up. But we have to deal, Pluto does this, takes what's in the underbelly and flip that thing up. See all this right here? Look at all this. People come out of the dark and want to talk and tell their story. Some of this is going to be truth spoken to power. Some of this is going to just be people's story and lies. But everything has to be thrown on the kitchen table and talked about. That began to happen January 2024 when Pluto went into Aquarius. And during that time, I began to teach about all the things that happened when Pluto is in this posture. And I saw then, about 2 months into the conversation, that Pluto was going into a posture during the election that is the same posture that it was in when Donald Trump was the president. And I said, we will be looking at one of these two or both. In November 2024, we will see the rise of Trump energy. And then I said, it's very possible that he could be our president, because according to the stars, he's supposed to be. And now we are in that. Whether it was cheated to do or not, it happened according to what the stars said. The stars ain't making it happen. What y'all got to understand, God flung this stuff into space and into time. So they can't help but be in a posture and in a position that is aligned with the mind of God at the time he flung them. This is why you need relationship with God, because the flung into frame prophecy or prediction or a prognostication could very well need augmenting by the mouth and the voice of the Spirit. So the pattern in the sky can say one thing, but then the voice of God speak and superimpose on the pattern he flung long, long, long ago. That's called the grace of God. Good God Almighty. That's why we thank him for the grace, for the interruption. Because according to the star, when it was flung right now, this could be my worst time. But then God sends a prophetic word, or you speak another word, or you have another thought. And that dictates what your day is. That's why you got to get up every morning. Every morning, and that's why I do it Tuesday through Friday, so you can use your mouth to program your day. When you don't know the star, when you don't recognize the star, we're not telling you to bow down and worship and follow the star. No, no, no. It's a sign. Sometimes it's even a guide. But the Holy Ghost in you is the intelligence, and God sits with you. But to ignore, can you learn math on your own? Sure can, but it's better if you go into the classroom with the teacher. So you don't want to ignore and be ignorant of the star. The star is called the aster. When you ignore the astor, you create a disastor, which means you dissed the star. And when your pastor doesn't have star knowledge, he cannot lead you into your future. He got the Holy Ghost. He's a powerful prophet. Okay. Yeah, you can listen to what your prophet and pastor saying, but there are going to be things in your life that he can't speak to because he has dissed the aster when he is supposed to be positioning you in alignment with the aster. That's why he's called a pastor. The aster, the star, the angel, literally. That's why the terum is so important, because it goes to your pastor. It goes to your prophet, to the eyes for your future. So whenever you give and sow the teruma, you are saying that I am led by spirit and directed through a future tech to make sure I go the shortest path to my destiny. When you make sure your priest is well fed. Okay, so I hope you guys have heard what has been said so far, but let's keep on listening on. And it's the worst of times because we're literally having to get torn out of the model and the mode, even the mood that we were in. And we get into this new air, and Aquarius is an air sign, that demands that we upgrade. And whenever that happens, whenever you make a decision that you're going to upgrade, everything fights you. January the 20th, 2024, Pluto jumped into Aquarius, but then it pulled out long enough for us to have the elections. Pluto went right back into the sign it was prior, which is the same sign that it was in when Donald Trump was the president. And I told you guys early 2024 that I see the rise of Trump energy, and we may be looking at a Trump presidency, although I voted for Kamala. But the reality is, it's two heads of the same monstrous machine. And we're seeing that now, that our government is a game. Our government is a game. It's a play of power, and the people do not matter. So then Pluto, after the election, went back into Aquarius on November the 19th. And it's going to stay in that sign until about 2043, 2044. What does that mean? It means the end of empire. I meant 2043, 2044. I didn't say that. And it's a study that has been looked at for many years that most great empires at the 250th year, they collapse, they change, they have some kind of extreme makeover. And America is about to turn 250 years old. All right, do you guys hear that? America's turning 250 years old next year. And it has been a pattern. America will be the first if this does not happen, but we already see it's already happened. It's the collapse or the fall of the empire. What that means is that particular country has reached her peak and seen her greatest days as it was. Now she must be reborn or born again. And this resets the reign of that country. It happened with every country after 250 years old. Now, this that I'm playing for you was said July the 10th, 2025. But I know as you're listening to it, you're beginning to see some things you didn't see before. And you know what's happened since then in your personal life, in your business. If you are a member of the Reformation community, you know what's happened in our world, all the shifting and changing. It's going to get very clear now. Right now, I'm talking about Pluto, but remember, it's 4 planets. Put in the chat, 4 planets. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. Larry, why you keep telling us about these planets? Because these are the outer generational planets that are very slow moving around Earth that are game changers and shapes Earth's systems, the ideology amongst its inhabitants, and the consciousness that we have here on Earth. Consciousness isn't just ethereal, but it's also magnetic. And you know, there's a magneticism when it comes to the turn of Earth and when the turn of the rotation and everything that is happening. So these 4 planets are the slow-moving generational planets outside of Earth that deeply affects what happens on our planet, even within us. Right now, you're contemplating things you haven't contemplated before. You're thinking about stuff and just weighing stuff. Long-term relationships, friendships, lived in the same house for 20 years. You've been in that marriage 30 years. You've lived in that state all your life. Now you're thinking about, let me try moving north. Let me try moving south. Let me try living in another country for a few months out of the year, or permanently moving to another country for the next 5 or 10 years. Where is this coming from? What is happening? Why am I questioning my faith? Why am I embracing the deconstruction of my faith? Why am I beginning to see the Bible in a different light? I don't have an appetite for that no more. We was raised on that, but I don't have an appetite for that anymore. You think it's just happening. No. The heavens are telling you the future. And the planet composition, the stars composition are all in you. You're made of that star dust. And the heavens are telling a new story. So your consciousness is actually being commanded to shift because your star is moving. Your rotation is moving. Every time you go across that birth date on that Gregorian calendar, it marks, it symbolizes your solar return, your rotation around the sun in that sign that you were born in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, you and the universe are one. All of those galaxies is you. Four planets. That's the whole purpose of this series. 4 planets. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. And we're going to get farther into this, but I had a feeling that most everybody had forgot part one because of the time of the year it was. So please go back and watch part one. But let's continue to watch this clip. So we see the end of empires when Pluto go into Aquarius, and then we see the rise of collectives. We begin to see people organize themselves as a power against the system. Whenever we see this, we need to know that upgrade, renaissance is on the way. Great change is on the way, but it comes by way of great pain. Because Pluto... All right, we got to put that in the chat. Great change by way of great pain. Great change by way of great pain. Put that in the chat. Great change by way of great pain. The pain is coming from the removal of what was and the command to go into what shall be. Letting go of people, places, things, ideologies, familiar people, familiar circumstances, and being a yes to what is unfamiliar, what has not been experienced. That's where the pain comes in. The displacement. I've been here 20 years. If I say yes to this job, to this tour, I won't be able to see my kids for 4 months. The pain of the responsibility of the assignment, the pain of being talented and called to the world when you want to be local and private. The pain of change. Great change, great pain. Let's keep going. Aquarius, we're going to see government surveillance, AI control intensified. Revolution is going to be happening in tech. Why? Because Pluto is in Aquarius. Revolution is going to be happening in media. Why? Because Pluto is in Aquarius. It's why we begin to see these talking heads be removed from these controlled media outlets, and now they're building platforms in their apps and online on YouTube. That is the work of Pluto. Now, if you've been following me for years, you are able to identify these things because I've been talking about it. Because Pluto is in Aquarius, there's going to be truth speaking. Everybody's going to start telling their truth, their own version of the truth. At the same time, we're going to see people really telling the truth and speaking truth to power. Prophets, visionaries, digital influencers, and leaders, they begin to take the center stage. At the same time that's happening, we're seeing the prophets, visionary, and influencers of yesteryear or yesterday begin to be removed into darkness. And okay, now I want to talk about this right here because this is happening right now, and I want you guys to be aware of this. All of the great names of yesteryear, and I want you to hear me. This aired July the 10th, 2025. From that airing to now, we have seen the greats of yesteryear fade into darkness, is what I said in that clip. What does that mean? That means that they do not see anymore. They do not see the future. They do not see for a people. They no longer see for no one except themselves. They see the world as one big transaction. And now they are in slave labor of transacting with those in their life and trying to get new people to transact with. It's not a relationship, it is a transaction. And they're typically left to do this because they no longer have the stage anymore. So fading away into darkness is talking about no longer being center stage. What you're supposed to do when that happens, because it's going to happen to all of us, you're supposed to then become the sage in that age. It's not time for me to do that right yet. I'm a sage in this age. But when I get into my returning years, then I'm going to be a sage for that age, for the leaders of this moment. And I don't need to be trying to see for that age because it's not in me. And biblically, we see the prophet in his age, that age. And then the prophet who the Bible called the old prophet, whose eyes have become dim. And he was supposed to be a sage for those in that age, but he went to that young prophet and deceived that prophet. Not because the old prophet was a demon, but because the old prophet was attempting to function and partner and cover and control those that are supposed to be leading in their age, and said, well, the Lord told me to tell you X, Y, Z. And because the young prophet had a heart for the elders, he followed. And he followed what that prophet said. Then that very same prophet turned around and prophesied and said, God told you to go here and go there and not go to the left or to the right. I came to you, you follow me, now God gonna kill you. So for the young prophet, say, wait a minute. You the devil. You a demon. No, young prophet. The old prophet's eyes are dim. You need to be responsible for the word of the Lord on your life and do what God called you to do, and not have so many connections with the old church and your old pastor and your new amazing prophet you just met, new amazing coach you just met. What did the Lord tell you? If you do anything else, it's going to end in your death. Whether that is physical, financial, spiritual, mental, or emotional. So when I say all of these great names, I don't want to call no names, but you know them. Don't put them in the chat. Y'all know the great names. Back to the Bible conferences, Woman Thou Art Loose conferences, Mega Fest conferences, all those people that was always on everybody's stage. TBN, Daystar. These leaders are in darkness. They're new leaders now that's supposed to take us into the future. And what I'm saying to those of you that have been committed to these old voices, respect them, but do not look for them to lead you into the future. They can only give you what they have been given to give in their age. All right, let's go further. Voice and the new masters are beginning to show up. This is because of Pluto. I'm talking to some of you that are right now dealing with the pain of change, but you need to understand that you are a master in the making. And this pain is making you a master. And you are going to be one of the most sought out voices, one of the most sought out talents, one of the most sought out minds in the future. So right now, while you're in the pain of change, data collect, work on yourself, go to therapy, do everything that you need to do. Everything you need to do to grow you, because you are going to take center stage under Pluto in Aquarius. And those things that aren't aligned with your soul's purpose, that can be people, places, jobs, careers, cities, states, countries that do not energetically align with your soul's purpose, that thing gonna be exposed and you're gonna make a removal. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this happened in my life, is happening in my life. Now tell me in the chat how many of you, from when this aired, July the 10th, up until now, have made a removal. Either you will let go or you let them go. You moved or they moved. You didn't hear from them no more, or you decided not to contact them anymore. Tell me. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 100% of you. Because when it comes to this here, I told y'all, a year or two ago, I started talking about global shift. This is a seismic global shift. Nobody is going to escape this shift. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of you have walked through this part of this already. This was July the 10th. I'm not making it up. It's right on the Larry Live platform. Just go back to the video. You say, oh my God, it was right here. And you probably look in the chat, I was listening. What was I doing? Caught up. I understand. It's very human. Now you're hearing it a different way. And we're going to keep these, the heavens are telling the future. This is part 2. We're going to keep doing these because I want you to be able to know these 4 planets like the back of your hand, what they represent. And I want you to be able to know when the heavens say certain things could be happening on the earth. And I'm going to tell you what one of these planets is saying about the government shutdown before I get offline, okay? So I need for you to hit like and share with everybody. Take the link, send it to people. Say, look, we live right now. You need to go back and watch this because this is a great live and you need to know about all this, okay? All right, let's keep listening. This is a divine displacement. So that's Pluto in Aquarius. But y'all, Saturn has moved into Aries. Now, I want you to understand something. This is something that is monumental. All right, so now we're done talking about Pluto. Now we've changed and looking at Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that's going to talk to us from what I see. That's going to sing the word of the Lord, that's looking at the heavens. From what I see, Saturn is going to tell us when the government shutdown is over. And I'm going to tell you when. Now, if you was on my prayer call last week, I told you this. So don't put it in the chat until I say it for those who are watching publicly who are not in our personal community, our private, say personal community. Let's pay attention to Saturn. When this happens, we see certain things happen in the earth. That happened May the 24th of 2025. But it's retrograding and it's turning back. But then it is going to fully get into Aries because it's going to dart back into Pisces. It's going to fully get into Aries on my birthday. I am very clear that I'm one of the main voices of the future. I'm very clear of that. And this is just confirmation in the heavens. Saturn is my planet. I have 2 planets. That's why I understand the twins of Gemini, because I have Saturn and Uranus as an Aquarius. And Saturn, on my day of birth, my solar return, February the 13th, 2026, it goes fully into Aries, and it stays until April of 2028. What this means is authority shifts. And the authority comes upon the builder and the warrior. And while that's happening, we're going to see harsh laws, authoritarian governance, and militarized order. We just saw the big, beautiful bill pass. And 2026 is when it goes in full effect. And when Donald Trump and Uranus as an Aquarius and Saturn on my day of birth, my 6 is when it goes in full effect. Okay, now let's look at these numbers. All right, put on your numerology hat. All right, so Pluto is staying 20 years in Aquarius. So that means it's going to do a little darting and fully get out of Aquarius by 2044. 448. It's an 8 there. What we talking about now? What we talking about now? Saturn goes retrograde in Pisces back and forward, but then fully gets into its new position January the 26th of 2026, 6 and 2, that's 8 here, 8 there. You see this now, right? Then, and we're going to talk about this. No, that's not right. What did I just say? No. So you got to do this. This is math and science. So, scratch what I just said. That's the wrong planet. We're talking about Saturn, right? Yes. Right, okay. So Saturn is going to go into its sign and stay February the 13th, 2026, 26/8. That's my birthday. The other planet, because 4 planets, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, that's spirituality, mysticism. It is darting back and forth in Pisces, just like Saturn is doing, but it gets fully into Aries January the 26th of 2026. 26/8, 26/8. So these numbers are even important. I haven't taken time to work them down to a single number and look at the energy around that day when they go back into their proper station. Because Neptune's going to stay in Aries until 2028, and that's significant, and that's a significant year. It's a year that's been prophesied about. We'll talk about that later in these parts in the heavens or telling the future. This is only part 2. So y'all see how these planets do? They go into a new sign, but then they go back and they forward back, and then they finally stay in the new sign. So that's why you hear me giving you these dates. You say, wait a minute, I thought it just went into Neptune and Saturn just went into Aries early this year. Yeah, but then it went into retrograde. And the sign, if you know your chart, the sign before Aries is Pisces. So it goes back into Pisces, but then it comes back into Aries fully in 2026, both these planets. Pluto was already back in Aquarius fully as of November 2024. So it's already in its posture. It's going to stay into 2044. That's an 8. Neptune and Saturn are going to be fully in their sign of Aries. That's a whole conversation. Because Aries, you got to talk about what Aries is and what Mars is that rules Aries. There's a war energy. Huge fight, war energy. I mean, fight, war energy. Larry, but you said Pluto got that in it too. Uh-huh. When it's in Aquarius, absolutely. So you see these levels. So we're in all these wars. I think this was said coming into the new year, how this year was going to be characterized with war. Tariff war, religious war, prophets warring, women rights war. Every kind of war you can think of, we're in right now. That's not by happen chance. The heavens are telling. Pluto says it. Neptune and Saturn and Aries says so. And Uranus, the 4th planet, in Gemini says so. But Uranus is retrograde and going backward and forward. And it goes fully in this new sign, which goes direct. Fully in this new sign of Gemini in 2026 as well. So y'all see what is happening. Spirit said prophetically, now this ain't looking in the heavens, this was a prophecy, on November the 1st that the month of November and December will be volatile, which is prophesying the characteristic that 2026 will have all year. 3-4 days later, now everything like the market, crypto is in a free fall. Yes, it's going on sale. Even in the volatility, you can still get victory and get a leg up. You just got to know how to surf the wave and the change. All right. All right. Are you? How are y'all doing in the chat? Let me look in the chat. I see. I see. Okay. Hey, Joy. All right. I want all of you guys that are apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers in the four walls of the church or outside the four walls of the church and in the marketplace to really give ear to this and go back and study this. So when you're talking to family, friends, and those that you undergird, that you can be giving this to them so that they can chart their way. Okay. I see y'all in here, but y'all ain't saying too much. Are y'all writing down notes? Well, what are you feeling, Nancy? Exaria, are you listening to this? What you think about this? Is it hard to follow? You don't think it's hard to follow? Okay. Well, you pretty smart. Let me ask Kendall. I'm just basic. Kendall is a bookworm. In fact, we call him Nerd. Is it how you feel about this, Kendall? Is it hard to follow?
It's not hard to follow, but it's a lot of information
Yeah, it's a lot of information. Yeah. I mean, but you can go back and listen to it. But think about it, if you listen to it over and over, it'll help you know. Oh, if somebody said it's hard to follow. Really? Hold on, I just saw you in my close community. So you just getting in the community. Yeah, it's gonna take a little while, but you're gonna get it. You're going to get it. It's in you to understand it because you are nothing but stars and numbers, shapes, colors, sizes, vibration, energy. See, they took you and placed you in a religion that's void of all of that, or either only have a measure of that. You are spiritual. You are spirit. You are spirituality. You are sense, sounds, beats, rhythms. You are shapes, colors, frequencies, energies. So this is your conversation. Although your American program soul likes salacious gossip and fighting and what have you, who you really are is a seeker of knowledge. And you want to become. See, something in you wants to become you. The you think you are is a projection and possibly a protection. But I want the real you to come forth. And guess what? So does God. So the universe is spinning you out of your lie and into the truth of who you are. You will not be able to wear masks anymore. Not in this seismic global shift and change of all things. America can't even wear her mask anymore. The truth about who she is beginning to be revealed to the whole world. And if you understand that America is a Cancer and its descendant is Gemini, its moon is Aquarius and its rising is Sagittarius. The rising is how you show up. And America shows up as a war. That's the sign of the SAG with the bow pull. Its major trait is being swiftly emotional and reactive as a Cancer, but have a deep care at the same time, being shut off, but wanting home and country. That's what Cancers are, all about the home. They show up as an Aquarius because we're innovative. Our military, science, technology, that's the moon, the mood or emotion of America. But the descendant is Gemini. The right now president is Gemini. There is a war in communications, in media. Who rules that? Gemini. The chief communicator. Gemini also has a lower underbelly that can be vindictive and messy and retaliatory and have a get back. Top side, Gemini is the most ideal leader, one of the most ideal leaders of the zodiac. You always want a Gemini on your team. But it's in the descendant. So that means that America and Donald Trump, listen, America and Donald Trump is working together. What did I tell y'all? I don't care whether you vote for Kamala or for Donald Trump. It's one monster with two heads. I don't care what these people are saying, the Democrats. I hear you, Gavin Newsom. I hear you, Kamala Harris. But all of y'all are a part of this that stinks in the nostrils of heaven. Ain't none of y'all right. We can choose the best from the mess. And I'm not a Democrat or Republican, and I absolutely will with my vote. What's best for us all, but I know it's the best of the mess. The 535 Congress people, 100 Senate, 435 House of Representatives, are all in the top 5%. Even if they're just taking their paycheck and using it, that makes them all in the top 10%. They're totally detached from the lifestyle of the 90%. And they're making the rules and the policies. What? Oh, but the oligarchs, the billionaires, the country's been ran by them. See, that's an illusion. The country has always been ran by rich people. So you're not going to get me with the propaganda of these oligarchs. When I say oligarchs, I'm talking about all that group you talking about and you that I'm looking at on this ballot who don't know the price of eggs, who don't know the price of cheese, who do not know how much the gas is right now because you have a privilege of being in a certain tax bracket, but you're making the rules for me. See, every American right now, this is why I say everybody got to leave America to be able to see, because you believe the lie. There is no Republican and Democrats. There are only rich, out of touch people leading our government. And I want you to know that. Well, how about Crockett and some of the rest of them? They probably more apt to understand the plight of Americans because of their family members. But I want y'all to know that your average white person don't have black friends. Your average rich person does not have middle class and poor friends. Without some intention, you're going to be biased in your ruling, in your policy. I don't know how I got off on that, but I did. But let's finish the rest of this. Y'all said start and talk. You talk and play and talk and play. Are y'all all right? How y'all feeling about some of what I said? I know it can be difficult to hear. All right. Let's go more. The heavens are already telling us what prophets won't. Spiritual leaders must become strategic now and strong. You've got to build your team and build your family strong. And your personal discipline becomes your new spiritual warfare. This happens because of Saturn. Are you hearing what I'm saying? But Saturn going into Aries, Mars, that's war. That's fighting. It's strength. Power. But then oh my God, I did it again. Why I always click the wrong button? March the 30th, 2025 is when these are layers. We got Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn. Okay, so let me say this. This there was a part I said in there. I hope y'all heard this. The only spiritual warfare that I am in, and the only war that Larry is in, is the war with me. Can y'all put that in there? I am only fighting one war called me. And I want you to get into this consciousness so you don't waste your energy. There are going to be people to talk about you. There are going to be people to lie on you. There are going to be people that's going to try to play in your face. But I want you to remember there's only one war you're fighting. And that's you. That's it. Now, there is a adage that goes like, whatever you focus on, whatever you fight has your focus, and whatever you focus on expands. This is why it's so important for you to get this, that the only war or only fight I'm going to be in is with me. That does nothing but amplify focus upon me and cause me to expand in my focus concerning me. You are your greatest asset. I'm not fighting with nobody. This is why you guys see me not answer certain things online. If I do, it's because of the business side. But because you cannot fight and then keep your focus. Oh, shoot. Oh, Lord. So you can't fight your enemy and then keep your focus. No, that ain't how that works. In that moment you're fighting, that thing has all your focus. So you have to fight strategically. It needs to be planned and well thought out. Because for that moment, all of your energy and focus is going to be on that one thing. And if you don't have that timed and tailored, then what's going to end up happening while you over here trying to do life, your focus is still in the fight. And now that's expanding more than your future. I'm only in one war, one fight. That's called me. All right, let's keep going. Now Neptune. Neptune is our mystical planet. It went into Aries as well. Everything pointing to war, tariff war, a war at the border, a war with the immigrants. It's just war everywhere. Well, the heavens are telling. March the 30th, 2025 is when Neptune went into Aries. And it's retrograding in Pisces as well, but it gets established October the 22nd of 2025 and fully goes into Aries when the sun is in Aquarius. Are y'all seeing this? January the 26th, 2026, 266288. That is when Neptune goes into Aries, and it stays until 2039. So what that means, because this is a mystical planet, spirituality, we're going to begin to see spiritual deception exposed and religious wars exposed, and they're going to begin to happen, and people are going to develop their cult-like followings. And at the same time, the collective, there's an uprising, there's a new party that's going to be showing up. But war at that moment, because of Neptune going fully into Aries, 2026 is going to be a very, very painful, difficult year for the world, but not for you, because you know now, and you know how to posture yourself. You know now to get to work on the self and go through them processes. People are going to be craving true prophecy. That's when you're going to show up. They're going to be craving real mystics and real priests. You're going to be ready then to take the center stage if you're working on it right now. They're going to be looking for seers. Remind me of the time in the Bible that said, for the word of the Lord was rare. Dreamers, seers, prophets, mystics, priests, at this time in 2026, you become now the activist. You now become the person that is speaking truth, the power in different arenas, not just in spiritual communities, but also in the religious community, meaning the church as well as the government. Many of you are going to have these anointings upon you to speak in all of these different arenas. You will not be passive. The earth will not be passive in their faith as we go into 2026. And then the last planet, this last piece, is Uranus. It's going into Gemini. All right, we're at our last planet now. Remember the 4 planets. Type the 4 planets so I can make sure that you guys are with me. Type Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus in whatever order you want to type it in. Just type it in. These are the 4 planets we're going to be watching and discussing. And a little bit, I'm going to tell you what one of the planets is saying about the government shutdown. I'm going to give you that date. Go ahead right now and make sure that you have this playlist saved. Part 1 and today. All right, I see you typing all of the planets. Great, great. I want you to get used to saying that. Some of you spelling the planets wrong. That's fine. You got to get used to having this conversation around science and around planets. If you're prophetic, you have to be mathematical, technological, and scientific. Somebody might need to write that in the chat. What I just said. What did I just say? If you're prophetic, you must also be, yes, mathematical, technological, and scientific. They downgraded Pluto to a dwarf planet. Yeah, that happened. It doesn't change a thing. All right, we got that. Okay. Y'all ready to go a little bit further? Why am I getting that headache? It may be my back. Okay, let's go. Wait a minute. That's another important planet that's going to stay in an air sign because Aquarius is an air sign. So some of stuff is going to be happening in the air. In this time block, that's where we're going to see vehicles lift off the ground and begin to take to the air. The heavens have already declared this so. God writes his plans in the heavens and then communicate them by way of his spirit to prophetic people, spiritual people, especially the prophets and the seers. July the 7th of 2025, Uranus went into Gemini. And it's going to stay into 2033. Now, what does that mean? Gemini is communication. So we're going to begin to see the war of words, cyber communications, warfare there, propaganda in the media, warfare there. Media is going to collapse. Events and situations around communication and transportation and technology, sudden events. Some will be positive, some won't be. We're going to see truth tellers rise online, but they're going to be muzzled. Some are going to be harmed. Some are going to be seriously harmed because they're rising up as digital prophets and telling the truth. And they're going to become targets as they are liberating people. But it's going to be that word, that communication. This is where we get the energy, Uranus in Gemini, the energy of civil war. America imploding upon herself in 2026 when it turns 250 years old. And why do I say that? Because the last time Uranus was in Gemini in 1861, we had a civil war. Then the other time, last time it was in Gemini, we had World War II. So it's already written in the heavens. And because we have the anointing of Issachar moving in this community, we're able to tell the times and the seasons, not just by what the Spirit taught to us, not by just by what the angels communicate to us, by what the heavens are telling. Because the scriptures say they speak, the moon, the stars, and every handiwork of his hand, they all tell and speak. They have a speech. That's what the Bible says. So Pluto in Aquarius is collapsing empires and exposing systems. We now know our government is a game. It's a power play. Saturn and Neptune in Aries is bringing the war, bringing the fire, and the purge. The purge, hear me, and that's all I'm going to say. Uranus in Gemini brings the information and communication war. And the truth tellers rise, and some die. All of this between 2025 and 2026, and America turns 250 in the middle of it. This is going to be interesting. And I want you to be very, very clear on that.
All right, we made it to the end of the video. Ooh, all right, do you guys have any questions? There's so much that I want to say, but I've said a lot, and I don't have to do it all in one day. But remember these 4 planets, Pluto, that's power, control, regeneration. That's what's going to be happening from 2024 to 2043 or 2025, because they're moving back and forth to 2044. So revolution in technology, governance, and power structures, the collapse of old political systems and financial systems, and the new birth or the birth and forth of this new thing. That's Pluto. There's also war in there, and also the rise. And I read this the other day. I said, oh my God. In Pluto is when Pluto's in Aquarius, that's when you start seeing a lot of global citizens show up. I said, wow. I was looking at the patterns and looking at the history, and every time Pluto went in Aquarius, a lot of Americans and people from other places become global citizens. That means they end up getting dual citizenship or residency or passports to where they're able to spend time in other different places or frequent other countries. That happens in times of unrest. And we saying it, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's of course. We watch that. And even in other countries, where people, they end up leaving their country for a while it's unrest, and they build other lives, and they go back, or either they send the money back to the people there. This is not new. This is just history repeating itself. Then Neptune, illusions are going to be confronted. Faith is going to be deconstructed. A spiritual renaissance, because Neptune is in Aries. These 4 planets, I just named 2, but these 4 planets Saturn, that deals with systems, boundaries, responsibilities, and then Uranus deals with innovation, disruption, and freedom, but there's a war aspect tied to get to that. But let's look back at Saturn, and then I'm going to let you go. And we're going to do $4.44, or whatever you want to do. Make sure at least 3 4s is in it. Because today's the 4th, and 4 means divine order. And what we are talking about is order celestially. Okay, so Saturn. Saturn, ladies and gents, we begin to hear about the possibility of a government shutdown the day of, on or before the moment Saturn went into retrograde. It retrograded into stubbornness. It retrograded into that sign that desires to have its way, or either it's going to tear everything up. What sign is that? We know that real well in this room. Taurus. Don't give a Taurus what it won't. You're going to have a mess on your hand. And that's what Saturn did. That sounds like the government shutdown, doesn't it? It sounds like the Republicans and the Democrats and the Republican blaming each other for the shutdown when all of y'all janky. That's exactly what the heavens are telling. But we didn't pay attention, did we? No. We just, oh my God, why the government shutting down? What is going on? Well, Saturn went retrograde, ladies and gentlemen. Saturn is coming out of Taurus and going back into Gemini on or around November the 15th. And I just sense that this is already beginning to happen. On or around November the 15th, Gemini is the sign that Saturn is going into. That is the sign of conversation and communication. So negotiations are more than likely going to happen. Looking at the stars, this isn't the word of the Lord. This is looking into the stars. On or around November the 15th, there is going to be a temporary or partial government opening. And this is going to be a conversation that's going to be ongoing all the way throughout. When does this is going to be a conversation all the way out throughout the first of the year, even going into April. But what we're going to see is this power struggle and this restructuring on how to do certain things as far as in the government, federal jobs and federal aid, federal jobs and federal aid. All of this over these months from November to April is going to be totally redone. Now, as we get closer to April, this is where you're going to start seeing even the more volatility that's going to show up in the market, not just crypto and stock, but also housing and banking. As we're coming out of that first quarter and going into the second quarter, and it's going to all get rewired and redone. And then they're going to be collapse and fall, then redone. Because the reality is, the whole planet is struggling with the new and wants things to be how they were because of the security, the illusion of security. But it's not going to work. So it's going to take a up and down, back and forward when it comes to what is going to be happening between 2026 and 2028 because of the struggling with letting go of the old. All right. In the Exodus series, I get into telling you when what's going to be happening later in 2026 when it gets more difficult to have autonomy here in America?
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to download one.
Nigga, I didn't ask you nothing. And then I also told you that same time period in 2027, how it gets even the more tight, the air. Now, I was just out of the country for about a month, and I came back. Let me tell you, the air in America is different than what it is in the countries I went to. The air in the countries I went to, light, free, positive, just inspirational. But here the air is thick, and I was looking for the source of it. And I located it while I was sitting on the plane, and I was looking at the people walking by. People are carrying a lot to be here, to live here. It looks like we free. It looks like we are on and popping. But people are struggling to pay the bills on their Mercedes and to live in certain zip codes. And it ain't just happened. It's been that way. With the changes in the government, it sort of have demanded mask off. Some of you been wearing a mask financially, living off your credit cards. Now, where we're at, you're about to hit a brick wall financially if you don't change stuff. You should have changed it a long time ago. I've been telling you on this platform a long time ago about the financial wellness plan, getting on it since May of 2019. It's not too late. It's just going to be a little bit more painful because you waited so late. But you can do it, and you'll ultimately be okay. But people are carrying a lot, and that's making the air heavy. And we are being psychologically played and toyed with through the media and algorithms. You must leave America if you're going to survive America. Put that in the chat. I must leave America if I want to survive America. And see, when I say leave America, people think first about moving, but they don't think about in mentality, in money management, in appetite. Leave America. In consciousness, leave America. You need to say that out of your mouth. I must leave America if I want to survive America. Tell you the truth. I think we're getting it. All right, any questions? First of all, before I do questions, please support this platform. You can support the platform, and you can also say, Larry, I love you, and I want you to go get some lunch. And Ahmadiyya said lunch. That's over there on the left, the Taruma. It's Dr. Larry D. Reid Ministries. It is tax deductible. The best way to send me something direct was between me and you, and I can read a message from you. Go to IamLarryDReid.com and click donate. Not Larry Reid Live, because Larry Live, all that go to MBN Network, the ministry. You go to IamLarryDReid.com for your $4.44. That's what we're doing. Oh, wow. On my end, it's $4.44 too. Can you see that, Kendall? Inside the square, it says $4.44. Yes. Yeah, $4.44. I'm asking you to send it to the MBN network over there on the right, tax deductible as well. You can do it through Cash App, $MBN network. You can text the word give to 404-800-4530. You can do it Zelle info@thembnnetwork.org. If you feel like $4.44 ain't enough, put a 1 in front of it, 2 in front of it, 5 in front of it. pushpay.com/G/the MBN network. pushpay.com/G, the MBN network. You can do it through there as well. Like I said, if you are sending me something directly, which goes to Dr. Larry DeReed Ministry, still tax deductible, that's over there on the left. Cash App $ Larry Reid. That's the only way. Make sure you look for that green check box suitcase beside that. Or you can do Venmo. You can leave a little message there too. Make sure it's private. Turn it to private or everybody going to read the message you send me. I am Larry D. Reid. Zelle, I am Larry D. Reid @gmail.com. All right. Let me see what you're saying in the comment section. Oh, thank you, Lori D. Scott, for that. Thank you, Anja77. Yep. How do we leave America in consciousness? Great. You being here right now is how you leave American consciousness. Let me say this too. Your brain and your mind, which is your consciousness, and your cerebrum. Your brain and your mind are tied together. So if you want to shift your consciousness and your thinking, upgrade your brain. That means taking information. And you being here listening to me is expanding your consciousness, and it is upgrading the cranium. It is important for you to read. The average, reading level in America is 6th grade level. Y'all just found this information out, and I'm just floored by it. But everything makes sense now. The average reading level, to me that says that's the average level of comprehension, is 6th grade. Did y'all hear what the hell I said? This makes all the comment sections that I have been in, fussing, fighting backwards and forwards, just make sense to me. I just found this information out. I didn't know it. I'm not ashamed to say I didn't know it. But now it makes sense. Because online in the comment section, I will put a flyer and say begin at 7 o'clock, text this to that. Somebody go up under it, when it start. Girl, it's in the caption and it's also on the darn flyer. Why the hell is you asking me that? So when I found out the average reading level of an American in 6th grade, I said, oh, well, what? I don't fit. I'm a misfit. I'm a rarity. Because most everybody else is stupid. Oh, my God. All right. So that's how. Would you please discuss the credit system we currently have and how it will change and when? I don't know how it will change. I can look at the stars and see when it's possible that it will. We know it's going to because of Pluto and the overlay and undergird of Saturn. It's absolutely going to happen, and Uranus and Gemini. So buying and selling and money and acquiring, all of that's going to change. It's not going to be the same. And it's going to happen over a period of time, but it's going to be in this time, Pluto, during this 20-year period. And because of Uranus overlay and Saturn's overlay, it will more than likely happen between 2030 and 2033. Yep. All right. Yes, how do healers fit in at this time? This is the time for healers. Remember, I said this in the video. Because of the time, people are going to be looking for a true prophet, looking for real experts. And if you have a gift to be able to help somebody heal through conversation, counseling, therapy, or however it is, you are going to be needed. So healers right now need to be doing their own personal work and preparing themselves for the influx of clients. All right. Question. Would you please speak to the credit system? Oh, I already did it. All right, that's it. That's all the questions. Wow. Thank you, Vonda, so much. Is it a great time to divorce? You talking about as far as in the heavens? I would rather have your know your sign at least before I will give any kind of advice on that, or maybe my sight will open up or spirit will tell me. But since you asked what would be a good time or the best time, the good time is when you feel like you need to leave that nigga. That's the best time. But if you're talking about as far as the stars is concerned, I get what you're saying. Oh, you're Capricorn? 9 times out of 10, that time has already passed. Called Caps, they hold on too long. Y'all gotta, let me tell you, don't be scared to start again in a relationship. Don't be scared to start again. What, you feel like that person is the only person that can make you feel like that? No, there ain't. There is too many people in this world. Too many places to go. I done seen too much. There's options everywhere. Do not fool yourself. Just go travel. Thank you, Miss Akeem. Don't fool yourself. You just settled. You know how fine you are, and you settle for that? Oh no. You're a great person. They don't even emotionally care about you. They don't care. You can't trust them with your feelings. They don't even give that back to you what you give them. Their love is controlling. Their love is insecure. I mean, you can't be in a room with another beautiful person because they're looking at you thinking you want them. It ain't because of you, it's because of how they view themselves. Who got time for that? No. No. Well, Larry, you don't understand the relationship is special. I do understand, but that don't mean that got to be your only relationship, and that don't mean that relationship, that marriage, your husband, your wife, they got to stay married to you. They can still be in your life in a different way. But why are you going to be in something that you're not fulfilled in? Who do that except the dumb? No. Go travel. Talk to some folk. And you just might realize, dog, I did settle. Think about it, y'all. How many people marry where they are? I mean, almost all of my family, they all was raised in the same area and married people in the same area. They're getting old in the same area and dying in the same area. They have not lived, but that is America's programming. Only about 20% or 30% of Americans, let me get this right. I want to say 30% of Americans have ever been on a plane. And like 19% of Americans have been outside the country. When I tell you this is an illusion about the land of the free, the home of the brave, this is a concoction that is a cage for your consciousness and for your cash. Oh yeah, with them fingertips, you can help these folk in their dome piece. Yeah. All right. I don't see no more questions unless I overlook the stars. And so I'm going to go on about my business. And make sure y'all do the $4.44. There were hundreds of you in here watching, which is a surprise because of what I'm talking about. Thank you, Crystal Williams. I see what you said. Kim, what you asked? Okay. Should I tell my daughter to transfer university out the country I want to go? No, what is her path? As a parent, you should know the purpose and the path of your child. If you don't, then ask them and see what they want to do and try to support them in whatever it is they want to do. If you have to fund it, then of course you have more of a say, and you're the parent and you can handle that. You know how to do that. But if you're not funding it and it is their choice, let's support them in what they're doing. What you want and what your child want will rarely be the same. Oh, she going to school where you want to go. Well, so what's the question, baby? Like you need to be packing. Thank you, Nikki Ocho. Please catch the replay. All right. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Please share this with your loved ones. Watch part 1 if you haven't. This is only part 2 of The Heavens Are Telling the Future. And get ready for part, I think it's 5, for the Exodus. Is it time to leave America? In this live, we sort of explain that even more, but the next live, we're going to start off explaining that, making sure everybody's clear. So people just don't hear me say, leave America, and then throw it out because I can't move out of the country. Everybody has to leave America. Everybody has to leave America. Everybody won't leave physically, but everybody must leave America to survive America. All right? She wanted to transfer to come home. I want to leave, so she said, where I go, she go. Okay. It sounds like a smart child. So let her begin to look and see what's best for her school and her options. And then y'all may have to consider being in 2 different places. You may have to consider that. I'm still hearing from people about this McQueen interview. I may do a members live about that to say some of my post thoughts after speaking with him. You said Trump has threatened to stop Americans from receiving their Social Security if they move to another country. Are you serious? Did you read that? Email me that so I can verify that. Email it to larryreedlive@gmail.com. Let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. What's the day? Tuesday. I'm gonna go lay down. If I can't sleep or nothing, y'all gonna have to just watch a members only from the bed. I'm gonna look a little crazy because camera straight on shot. You see me how you see me when you meet me. But when I lay in the bed and I go back and look, I'm like, I don't look like myself. I don't look like that in real life. So what my head is up? Say that ain't it. Great advice, Joy. Yeah, I believe. No, but you may have to get it like that. You say you saw it somewhere. Okay, baby, but before you say something like that in the chat, you need to be verified from reliable source. Okay, somebody said he hasn't. You see, that's what I'm saying. You got to verify stuff. And there ain't no reason for nobody to have wrong information with ChatGPT no more. Just drop it in there. Right. Or use your family member's address. Simple. I almost did that with something. I ain't gonna tell you what it was. I almost started using my mom and them address for something. I said, no, it's all right. I do it like this. I know how y'all feel, but this is America. Anything they give you, there's 100 ways to get it back. Okay, you go to work. They take all these taxes, this, that, and the other, FICO, FUCA, and everything. Take it out. Then you get your money back. Oh, my money, I got paid. No, you got robbed. You take the net. Then you go to the store to buy something, and there's taxes on what you buy. So you tax the money I bought. You tax the money I work for. Now I'm using the money, and you taxing what I'm buying. And then if I put what's left over a long period of time in a particular account and it's too much than that $7,000 a year, then you're going to tax that. Y'all understand how this works? If I put my money somewhere and they grow and I pull it out, then you're going to tax that. You already taxed the money if I put it in there to grow. Now you're going to tax the money now that it don't grow. So I'm going to get the house note, 20 years, 15, 20, 30 years, pay it off. Now, this house that's worth $100,000, $500,000 is mine. Ain't got to pay no mortgage, no more. Woo, I'm so glad of that. But then every 365 days, you got to pay the taxes. You paying taxes on a house you bought with borrowed money that was taxed, using the money that you worked for that was taxed before you bought the house that was taxed. And now you got to pay taxes on the house when you pay taxes on the money that bought the house the whole time. And if you don't pay the taxes on that house every 365 days, they take the house. So, but wait, what? Because you owe the taxes. I owe taxes on a house I bought with taxed money? A trick is what it is. It's unfair. And I love the visionary of the UAE. Different country, same stuff that we could say something about. But there's several things that I like about that country. And the main thing is how they treat their citizens. They treat their citizens very nicely. Very nicely. When it comes to benefits, when it comes to health care, when it comes to what they allow to be sold as food in their country, they care about their citizens. America does not care nothing about us. It's the illusion of freedom by giving you all these choices and opportunities of different ways to either eat or part of yourself to your death or demise. So you have a whole lot of different options to die. And a whole lot of options to distract or addict yourself. But the UAE, alcoholism and people being alcoholics, you know why it's not a big thing there? Because alcohol isn't sold everywhere. And it's only open certain times. And if you're going to get alcohol, you have to go through this, that, and the other with a residential thing in order to bring it to the house and all this kind of going on. There ain't no weed in the entire country or gummy. We always having folk getting arrested called they drunk, hurting somebody called they drunk, either with a car because they drunk. Why aren't there regulations? Because America don't care. Because all that turns into money for the insurance company, for the hospital, for the pharmaceutical company. Trillions upon $1 trillion industries will suffer if America starts caring about its citizens. It wasn't established on taking care of its citizens. America was established on running away from a superpower that they wanted to overthrow but couldn't. So they left and said, we're going to become bigger than you. America's built in ego and emotionalism, control, war, and blood. Manipulation. That is the beginning of our country. And that's going to be the downfall of our country. Until we repent. Okay. Oh my God. Now that's really getting into it. Let me tell you this, y'all. So I have options. And this is what I found out. If I go right now to Dubai tomorrow, and let's say I sell one of my properties there, and let's say I make $1 million dirhams, which turns into a few $100,000 here, dollars. I make that $1 million dirhams, and it's profit. UAE says you don't pay any personal tax and no other tax on that money that you made. If I made that $1 million in America, immediately that turns to about $680,000 after taxes, because it puts me in about 39%, almost 50% tax bracket. That country cares about the success of the citizens. America wants you to be successful so that it can siphon the money off your back. So that's one thing. Now, I'm an American, an expat in Dubai. I won't have to pay taxes there on that 1 million dirhams. But America said, wait a minute, you are an American citizen. You made how much over there? 1 million dirhams. That turns into $320,000. You must pay taxes on $320,000. But I made it in another country. It don't matter. You're an American citizen. Unless you are going to denounce your American citizenship or only come to America 13 days total in a year, you must pay regular income tax on it. Well, there's some other things in there, because you could say it's a foreign, I made the money in foreign soil, and they can drop it down 15%, as low as 15% taxes on it. Still, America gonna get its money wherever you make money on the planet. Do y'all hear that? And it's the land of the free for real. Oh. Oh my God. That's mean. Bruh. So that's why these oligarchs and Trump himself, this big, beautiful bill was about them taxes. Now, there are ways to go around this when you're rich, but there's still tax. And this is just how it is. So in order to survive America, you're going to have to get delivered of America, leave America. Leave it right here, so that then you can begin to play differently in America, move differently in America. Because the way the thing is set for the bottom 90% to stay the bottom 90%, while the top 10% runs the country. Yes, you have dual citizenship. That's what I was talking about. If you got dual citizenship, that plays into getting it as low as 15% when you make money outside the country. Point is, you're owned by America owned. The appearance of freedom, but you are not free. Just try to go somewhere else and be. And you're going to find out, oh, dog, I'm on a whole plantation. All right. Oh, my God. But y'all, we're going to be all right. Take a breath through your nose, out your mouth. I'm going to be all right. It's all going to be all right. All is well with my soul, with my soul. All is well with my soul. All is well in my soul, in my soul. All is well with and in my soul. Did y'all sing that with me? You definitely don't want to buy it in corporation name. You could in UAE and still 0%, I think it is, or something low like 2%. Because then you have to pay taxes there and then plus in America. So although it's discounted here, you still create a tax somewhere else. You don't want to do that. Yeah. You sang it good. Oh, let me make a clip right quick before I get off. Because I ain't going to do no whole show on this. You ready, Nancy? Oh, so check this out. They told me that gospel singer and musical giant that just really took it up to the top when it came out, Travis Green, who is now a pastor, went on his platform, literally, the pulpit, and preached about these fraternities and how they opened doors in his life by pledging because of the oaths and the things that they needed to say. Then they said Lecrae, gospel rapper, did the same thing. Now, I had heard these other preachers preaching on it about a year ago, but now I understand it's a whole thing of black Christians denouncing these organizations that were created for black people because black people were kept out of the white ones. Anybody see that there is a bleach that is in Christianity that bleaches the soul of its followers and practitioners, white with whiteness, so that they then deny the gift of brown that the Creator gave them. See, brown or black is the original hue and the original color. It is the fullness of humanity. But whiteness possessed white-skinned people to begin to change this planet's order and make white right and make it first, when it's actually a derivative of black. So when you see black-skinned people denounce their skin and denounce organizations and systems set up to combat whiteness and racism that is a system, you need to know that there's something wrong in your faith practice. And what's wrong in Christianity is whiteness. What's right in Christianity is Christ. But he has been removed from present day Christianity and has been replaced with white consciousness. And it has given us a white savior. And because of that, black-skinned people have a white man's frame of mind and sense of spirituality. And that's horrible. Travis Green, Lecrae, and anybody else who has been a part of this that's black skin needs our prayers that they will be delivered of whiteness that infected them by way of their faith. And I pray for their deconstruction so that they can begin to have a new revelation of Christ and begin to return to the way Christianity was practiced in Africa before the white European hijacked it, flipped it, bleached it, and gave us this Western Christianity. All right, I'm done. Oh, Lord. All right, I'll see y'all later. Yeah, no. Yeah, make sure you signed up for members only too. I'm gonna go over there and talk to y'all about what I sense and discern when I was talking to what's his name? The bishop on last night. Okay, and make sure y'all watch part 1. God bless you, and remember to put your mind on these four planets. God bless you. Join Patreon too.
Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and build your immune system, health and wellness lifestyle plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be part of daily prayers, weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us at patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you.